Some years in Hollywood are memorable, and then there are years that completely change everything. This year belonged to TS Madison. From fashion events and movie premieres to music collaborations and international appearances, she became one of the most talked about personalities in entertainment. Everywhere people looked, her name was being mentioned. Whether it was on social media, television, or the red carpet, she seemed to be having a moment that very few entertainers ever get to experience. What made this year even more special was the fact that it didn't happen overnight. TS Madison has been working in the entertainment industry for nearly 20 years. She has spent years building her career, creating opportunities for herself, and refusing to give up on her dreams. So when this incredible year finally arrived, she wasn't just celebrating success, she was appreciating the entire journey that brought her to this point.
Despite all the attention and recognition, T.S. Madison said she never wanted success to change who she was. Even while attending major events and receiving honors, she continued doing the things she has always loved. She was still taking culinary classes, still participating in creative projects, and still making time for the people she cares about. She didn't want fame to make her forget where she came from or who she truly is. For many years, she often focused on helping other people and placed herself second. She made sure everyone around her was supported and encouraged. However, this year became different. She finally learned that it is possible to take care of yourself while also showing up for others. She discovered something she had been searching for during much of her life: balance. According to T.S. Madison, balance doesn't mean having everything figured out. Nobody has life completely under control. Everyone is constantly learning and growing. However, this year made her feel like she had finally unlocked a secret. She realized that it is possible to pursue your own dreams while continuing to support the people around you. It was a powerful lesson, and one that changed the way she looked at her success. Another reason this year felt so special was because of fashion. Every time T.S. Madison appeared on a red carpet, people wanted to see what she would wear. She became one of the most exciting personalities in fashion. Fans waited for her next look, and designers wanted to work with her. She suddenly found herself becoming a staple at major fashion events, and one of the names everyone was talking about. But her relationship with fashion was never simply about expensive clothing or luxury brands. She remembered the years when she didn't have access to stylists or designer wardrobes. There was a time when budgets were small and opportunities were limited. She had to figure things out on her own and work with whatever resources she had available. That history made these new opportunities feel even more meaningful. Instead of taking them for granted, she embraced every experience with gratitude. She described it as being given the keys to a giant playground and being told to have fun. Fashion became an opportunity to experiment, take risks, and express herself creatively. She enjoyed every moment because she understood how hard she had worked to reach this point. Every designer invitation and every red carpet appearance represented years of dedication and perseverance. She knew these opportunities were special because she remembered what it was like not to have them. However, no fashion moment and no award could have prepared her for one unforgettable surprise. That surprise involved someone she has admired for most of her life: Janet Jackson. For years, T.S. Madison openly talked about how much she loved Janet Jackson. She considered the legendary performer one of her greatest inspirations. To her, Janet Jackson was not simply another celebrity. She represented excellence, talent, and everything that an entertainer could hope to become. When someone mentioned that Janet Jackson was at the event, she immediately became excited. Just hearing that one of her heroes was in the building was enough to leave her in complete shock. At the same time, she never believed that Janet Jackson was there for her. In her mind, there was absolutely no possibility that such an iconic figure would come specifically to honor her achievements. She viewed herself as someone who had experienced an incredible year, but she viewed Janet Jackson as something much bigger. She explained that there is a difference between having an iconic year and actually being an icon. In her eyes, Janet Jackson belongs to a category that very few people in entertainment can ever reach. Then, the impossible happened. The legendary singer walked onto the stage. At first, TS Madison couldn't believe what she was seeing. She later joked that she wasn't wearing her glasses and couldn't clearly make everything out. But then she noticed something familiar.
It was the walk. She recognized Janet Jackson's signature glide across the stage. At that moment, everything became real. She completely lost control of her emotions. The tears began to flow because she finally understood what was happening. One of her greatest inspirations had come there specifically to honor her. The entire experience felt unbelievable. She couldn't stop thinking about the fact that Janet Jackson didn't have to be there. She didn't have to travel and make time in her schedule. She didn't have to surprise her or celebrate her accomplishments. But she did. That simple act meant everything. Even though T.S. Madison and Janet Jackson had developed a friendship and occasionally exchanged messages, she still considered herself a fan above everything else. Meeting her hero didn't make the admiration disappear.
Whenever she had an opportunity to communicate with Janet Jackson, she still became excited. She still felt amazed that someone she admired so deeply was part of her life. That is why her emotional reaction was completely genuine. The tears weren't planned. They weren't for the cameras. They came directly from her heart. Everyone watching could immediately see how much this moment meant to her. Perhaps that authenticity is one of the reasons why so many people around the world have fallen in love with T.S. Madison this year. Throughout the year, her name seemed to appear everywhere. Whether it was the Cannes Film Festival, fashion events, interviews, or award shows, she became impossible to ignore. Every conversation in entertainment seemed to include her name. Very few performers ever experience this kind of momentum. Very few entertainers become the center of attention across multiple industries at the same time. Yet through all of it, T.S. Madison remained humble. She admitted that she is still trying to process everything that happened during this incredible year. The recognition arrived on such a large scale that it still feels unreal to her. At the same time, she understands that this moment didn't happen by accident. This success represents 20 years of determination, 20 years of hard work.
She wants to keep growing. She wants to keep creating. She wants to continue becoming the best version of herself. Most importantly, she wants to remain authentic. She said she will continue celebrating other people's victories. She will continue supporting her friends and cheering for others. She doesn't want success to change the person she has always been. That generosity and authenticity have become a major part of her story. In an industry where fame can sometimes change people, T.S. Madison has shown that success and kindness can exist together. You can pursue your dreams while
You can achieve recognition without forgetting where you started. This extraordinary year wasn't only about fashion, red carpets, and awards. It was about discovering balance. It was about learning to invest in herself while continuing to pour love into others. It was about understanding that success means more when it is shared with the people who helped shape your journey. And perhaps most importantly, it was about standing in a room, looking at one of your biggest inspirations, and realizing that dreams that once felt impossible had somehow become reality. After nearly 20 years of hard work, persistence, and unwavering belief in herself, the world finally fell in love with T.S. Madison. And judging by everything that has happened so far, this remarkable year may only be the beginning of an even greater journey ahead.